In this video, we're going to walk through the new OneDrive in Schoology assignments. The first part of the video will be from the teacher's perspective and how to set up a OneDrive in Schoology assignment. And then the second part, we're going to kind of switch over and show the student perspective of what this looks like. So here we go. For those of you that have used OneDrive in Schoology, or those of you that are new to this process, we're going to create one as a teacher. So I'm going to go into my sandbox course here. I already have this version created, but first let me show you the old way. Those of you that are familiar, you used to create your OneDrives by clicking Add Assignment. And then down here in Format Options, you had the OneDrive option to attach those. And you can see that is gone. It's no longer available. So this is the new method. To create this, we are still going to hit the drop down on Add Materials. But now you will notice that there is a Microsoft Education option on the right-hand side in our LTI options. So we're going to click on the Microsoft Education. I have already logged in. Some of you may experience where it says setting up the page and it might take a minute. If it's the first time you're doing this, as you move through the semester, you won't have to do it again. Your page will open up like this. What you're going to see is a few different options here. Adding a file is exactly what it says. It's just like attaching a document. You could still do that the old way and add materials in Schoology, but you can also do it from here right now. This co-pilot part, we're still looking at that. That's something that they've added. It's an AI feature. We'll look at that another day. And the part we're really going to focus on is this creating an assignment, because these OneDrive assignments are what a lot of us are familiar with. So I'm going to click on this Create Assignment, and you can see when you click this, we have options as well. I'll start down here from existing. That's to pull something from another assignment. We're still working through that and exactly how this feature works. We've played around with this a bit. There is a way to create a form or a quiz, which is nice for the data collection piece. But we're going to focus here on the new assignment. So those of you might have shared like a Word doc or a PowerPoint or an Excel spreadsheet that you want the kids to have their own copy of, and that you can see kind of their live progress on. That is this button right here, and you can see it's the new icon. It's the little backpack. So I'm going to click on this, and this brings us to our setup page. To create a OneDrive assignment, I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it Intro Cues, because that's the one that I already have created. Whenever I look, I have these different options down here. What we're going to do is attach that document or that PowerPoint or that Excel spreadsheet, whatever it is. That's where we're going to connect it from our OneDrive into Schoology. So I'm going to click on Cloud Files. This is my OneDrive. I'll go into it. I'm just going to pull one from my ancient history because that's the first one that pops up. I'll attach these questions. I just selected that document. So now what will happen is each individual student will get their own copy of this text that I selected. Now here's the most critical part, and if you miss this step, there is no way to undo it. You're going to have to start over and create the assignment again. Notice this drop down. Right now it's set at Students Can't Edit. So the way it's currently set, a student would have to download it, complete the document, save it, and then upload it back to you. And obviously that kind of defeats the purpose of a OneDrive assignment. So what we want to make sure we do is change this to students edit their own copy. That is essential here. So now they have this version of the document that I want to share with them. There's also this feature. If you click New, you could just share with them a blank PowerPoint or a blank Word doc if there's no formatting. You just want them to start from a blank canvas. And then you would have that exact same option where you want them to edit their own copies of it. So you can set up instructions for the assignment here for them to read if you need some extras. This is like always, we got to set the date and the time, make sure it's on a school day where it does not go over into PowerSchool. You have the option to add a rubric. Point value, I'm just going to put 10 here. This is a new feature, AI guidelines. Microsoft, this option does allow us to select what type of AI can or cannot be used. I'm just going to use for editing only. There is a standards, add standards feature here. Not a ton of that is available to us at the moment, but I think in the future we'll be able to use that a little bit more. But this feature right here I think is unique and different than what we had before. Students can undo turn-in. So if you've used OneDrive assignments before, you know that once a student submitted, it was in your hands as the teacher to unsubmit if they had an issue or accidentally turned it in. Now we can control that with this toggle right here. If yes, that means a student could go in and edit if they wanted to change something. If I toggle it to no, now it's back on me as the instructor to go in and make those changes. So I'm going to go into one of the ones I've created here. It's the same title. It's called Intro Cues. I set this up and you're going to see some examples of what it looks like once students start to work on it. You're going to notice the screen looks a lot different. Down here I have the members in my class. You can see up here 1 of 4 have turned it in. 0 of them are past due, 0 of them are ready to grade. Now what I did want to show you is this one here. These are ones that are waiting on submissions. One unique thing that I can see is that Katie and my daughter, they have yet to open their copies. But I can look here and see that Julia has at least opened hers and looked at it. So when I clicked on viewed, I can jump into Julia's real quick and just kind of see her progress. And I can see, okay, Julia's answered number 1 and 2, and she's still got some work to do. I can close hers out. What I can also do now, if you look, there's a new tab here. This is called Returned. This is Chris's. Chris had completed his work. And when students do this, there's actually an option for you to, it's up here called Return and Sync. You could return it and give them some feedback and allow them to essentially resubmit. So when I click on this, I see that this is Chris's version. Oh, he's doing a wonderful job here. He's through number 6. He went ahead and submitted. But this is what your submissions looks like. This is, again, very different looking page than what we've seen before. But you do have the ability to give the student feedback. You can assign a point value. So I'm going to go ahead and give Chris a 10 here. And in my options, I can return and sync. Return and sync means it's going to sync the grade. Return for revision just means it would kick it back to Chris so he can edit before I grade it. But I'm going to return and sync, which means we are good to go, and that is the submission. That would go into the grade book as 10 out of 10 for Chris, and he's able to see that feedback. So now what I'm going to do here, this is the student perspective. I'm now in Chris's U.S. history class as a student. He assigned this test assignment for me, and this is what it will look like for your students. They get this ready to start page here. They get this turn it in button. But where they're going to start is actually by clicking here on My Work, clicking on the document that was created for them. And what you're going to see is this is that document from Chris's OneDrive that he created. I can go in and answer. Oh, he threw a little Notre Dame reference in here for me. I love that. But this is what a student sees. This is one to show you their perspective. This is like a live doc, and so whatever I type, I don't have to save or anything. It's going to be there. Mr. Andre can look and get pretty live feedback on what I've been doing on this assignment. When I hit close, I can click turn it in, and I get the green check that says submitted. Now, if you look here, that's the button I was talking about from the teacher perspective. That's what we can control. I could go in right now, but if he set it up where he toggled that to no, then I would not have this option. But as a student, you are complete. That's how they will open it and submit it. And hopefully you like this new OneDrive in Schoology feature. Thank you.